butthole. Yeah, this whole, wanted to show you something. Some sick dope shit that I found. So, I got everything sidechained and pointed to this file, which is like my drum for omens. Alright, so that's with the effect, the whole chain. And then I'm gonna show you without it. So it takes a minute for my computer to load this. It might crash because I don't have any RAM space. I need to just download like RAM and borrow the hard drive while increase the cache load on the hard drive and you can use like 100 megabytes of it to help for overhead when your RAM runs out. I forgot to do it. I haven't done that shit in forever. I used to bottleneck small engine computers for, I don't know, I just did it because I wanted to play games, so I would push shit to its limit. Alright, so right here's the issue. There's a little bit of this going on too at the low end, but anyway. I'm gonna go fuck this shit. Shift and move everything together. But this will change how bright and up. And it's because sorry, I'm sneezing. Changing. See. See how it's getting shorter? And then you put this on. Yeah. It's important. This is like crafting your drum. I know it's crazy, but I use this and left. I try not to touch the signal at all. Try to die down the heavy ends. But this does what I was messing with, but across all boards. Again, but in a different way because of this ratio thing here. So this helps me level out the drums, and the thing I'm looking for, I'm not looking for a distort, I'm looking for a nice warm thud. So it starts changing. Hear the thud? Listen. There's my big boom. That's the big boom. That's a lot of air. See that? So I get a lot of boom there, and I can have that if I want, but that's too much when you go way over here. See that? And I gotta push that signal down. Right? You want that thick pump. Alright, well this is too distorted and too much, obviously, right? So back it down. start getting this tight, a nice oomph, but it's just gonna, just a little bit. Now go to the release. Okay, you can make this long attack or short attack, depending on what you want there. I like a short release, a long attack, a little bit, so it's not so loud. There you go. So now look. Ooh. Now it's nice and thick, right? I don't know, guys. You guys heard that wobbling noise in there, right? I'm gonna change that. I'm moving the piece. Okay. Seems to be a little tighter here. So, that knob down. Gain down some. Warp goes away. It's more warpy here, so you gotta go to the context of the track and move. So it turns out it was the threshold that we needed to move, but with the effect, without. See how you want it? See how it sounds like it goes with the music? It's pushing back all that loud shit that you don't need, that coming up over the track the whole time. So you push your drums to an equilibrium area to where it's being heard, yes, but it's not the whole fucking space, so that everything else can fit. Again, the drums do hold a good space. They do. So you do gotta give it its purpose space. You know, the sonic sound out of the drum itself is gonna carry, of course. And you can use other tricks too. like what I'm about to do here. Sometimes they get pushed back and it seems like it's so quiet. I'll show you this. Damn, I wish I had something with a little bit more RAM, man. This shit's slow. Alright. This is what... There's a fucking sidechain for mids right there. So what I'm doing here is bringing up the volume using a limiter, and you want to balance that with the release, because you don't want it touching too much. But that threshold, you see this? I could talk and figure out how loud something is with the threshold. Immediately it changed. You see that? So it became more punchier, thicker, it cut through. That's a good trick for a lot of shit. You just gotta kind of think of what things do, and you kind of figure it out. Do your 10,000 hours. If you're doing the music thing and you're trying to learn your sound and who you are and what you're doing, do the 10,000 milestone. Do that one, and yeah, you'll really get a better grasp of things from where you are for sure from doing it. And I just completed mine, so as of yesterday, and it just kept going, and it was a long grind, but a year and a half later, yeah, I achieved it. So congrats to me, I guess, on that, right? Well, maybe congrats and pat on the back for yourself when you do it. So try it. But yeah, I wanted to show you a little in depth something I figured out that helps with mixing. When you get in your Reaper, for Reaper users, do this. When you're done with your whole mix, well, you don't even have to be done. You can still edit. But it's wiser to edit as much as you can before you do this, okay? Because you might have to add more instruments, and it's okay doing it, but it makes it hard to taper them. hear what you're doing because you're already. But here's a good side about that. When I do that, I have a little bit of control of the signal that I'm hearing, so I can actually hear it in the correct context it would be if I was trying to mix it anyway. So I don't know. It's up to y'all. But take a gander here. I take this and before I was doing like EQs, and I do EQs on that sometimes. Just depends on what's needed, you know. Sometimes you end up doing a bunch of Scrabble here and just this nudge. But what I found was you can sort of kind of, if you're just going to use the EQ to cut something, well, instead of that, why don't you just use this? And so I did. I set it so it's sitting right on top of its highest peak. And it's pulling it down some to give it some thump. And this was important right here. This was like so hard. And it was literally just like, look how fucking, it's math, man. You know? And I moved like I was doing before, the ratio and the release and the threshold. I made a small minor adjustment until everything sat into what I have now. So without it, here. So it brings up the color, and I was able to go in solo and focus, like you saw earlier, right on that fucking, that again, from outside of the drum, from the mix level, I was now messing with the bass level, so I can hear that thump and everything I'm doing in the adjustments in the drum. But now I can go up here and almost like an EQ pull up from inside that bubble of frequencies that I want exactly out of that compressed drum that I created. And yeah, it's amazing. But you'll find yourself getting smarter and smarter like me, thinking that I learned everything already and was bored with it. And then come to find out, shit, there's still a little bit more. But it's still less is more. Because when I was doing a whole bunch of chaotic shit, my tracks were coming out thinking I was sounding good for a minute. And then I'd switch it on to the TV and something else, and I'd be like, what the fuck, you know? So this really solidified and glued the track, and it was a lot better than sitting here and making 1,000 vocals and shit trying to fucking make that shit glue, because it just did the same thing there. It helped. You can set up a reverb right there and it'll just, yeah. Now that, if you translate to other DAWs, would be considered a master bus. So you're just side chaining with the master bus a small multi-compressor, and it works, man. And you could put a limiter on there too, but then you'll be pushing like it won't sound okay if you put a limiter on there. And I noticed that, like, I was doing it before and it helped, so this red peak, but look, you don't have to worry about that little red peak. If it's just that, like, if it says -0, don't even fucking worry about it. Like, it's fine. You could try to pull it down some with the compressor if you can, But if you can't, it's okay, because at the master level, that's where you can scrub it down just a little bit and put the peak at, and that's where you can use your limiter at. And again, I used another compressor on that too, you know. So if I did that before and I made all these adjustments now, and I want to see if something sounds too quiet, I can turn on and off this. Check this. Now watch. On. See, so now that's gonna help me determine what I need to turn up and down. So when I want to change it, I turn that on so I can hear every little thing, and then afterwards, I get to hear it. So I can make more adjustments, um, and then I have to come back later and have to fix this. So it looks like I got a mess here. So, but I was doing something to cut out off the high end that I didn't need. Well, it looks like I didn't need that much no more. So if I don't need that, I reset this, and I'm looking for like to get rid of hardness. happen. So you'll definitely be able to hear when you're clipping when you do this too. So 1.2. So we need to pull this whole fucking track down. 1.2. Oh, we could do it here. Look. So when you do put a limiter on something to drag something down, like in this case, when I just said we shouldn't do it, sometimes, so if you do it, you want to do it very sparingly. And you saw I left headroom, and then I turned off that relief on it. So it's not really touching it. All I did was took away the brick walling and all that shit, and just said, oh, let me just turn down the volume. And it just turned down the volume. Yet, still doing a little bit of its job elsewhere because it's sidechain, and that allowed for it not to fight as hard, so you got a more accurate representation of those compressors. Now, if you have a real analog compressor like a Pultec or something, the whole process that I did here is right there in front of your face, like 3 knobs: color and release, attack, of course. And yeah, that's basically all they needed to know. But in a DAW virtual world, that's what we wanted right there. So anyway, um, that's a magic trick, by the way, for you computer guys out there that know that that doesn't work typically on its own. You have to create that, and that's it's a little known trick, but not a lot of people that I hang out with know about that. So figured I'd give the knowledge out there. Um, you guys can reach my channel, The Silenced, The Roost. If you can't spell the Roost at the end, it's Rused. I don't know why people can't spell rused. It's a little weird. Um, I could do the apostrophe D, but that would be weird. But in a way, it would probably make sense because of context of what it means. But if you guys want to vote on that change to my name, let me know. Of course, we're also THEFEWTHEMANY, and that's my publishing name. So when I publish anything, it's under the publishing of THEFEWTHEMANY Records, and then we have my name for the band, which is the Silence Roost. Anyone that wants to join in on my little band that has some money, you can make some stuff happen. That lives near me in North Carolina, you DM me and we could talk about trying to do something. But I can't do it here per se. Maybe. I mean, we could go in the back, but it has to be like dumb shit, like some fucking acoustics and shit. And I don't want that. I want what I'm doing here on my computer. So, if you get a practice space or a plan of where we could do that, yeah, I got a way to do that and everything, and would like to do that. Yeah. And anyway, check out my channel on YouTube and subscribe to everything else. So meta tag's the same. THEFEWTHEMANY is just the name. I'm pretty sure if you search that, it'll probably pop up too. So, but the music that we had out recently, you'll find on other smaller apps and other avenues, but my music will no longer be on Spotify, so we made that change. But I'll see you guys later. Alright. Good luck. Oh, Omens is coming out again. I did want to play that. Let's see if I can play that real quick. No, we were playing it the whole time. No, what the fuck I mean. So you guys heard a little bit of snippets of that. That's part of the new song. That's the one that I've been working on. And, yeah, as you can tell, I rebuilt it. It sounds really good. I really hope you guys enjoy it. Maybe, here, I'll play a little bit of it. lot more clear. So sometimes the overhead of the drums can be a damn hassle to get out of the space of the vocals. So um, when that happens, it could be the instrument level, and you don't want to move those vocals. But if you have to, you have to. You know what I mean? But usually they're sitting tight where they're at, and this is that case, I believe. So I'm trying to go through and see if there's some stray files. Like this looks really fat, so maybe tug this guy down about, hold us. So we were trying to bring up the guitars a little bit, but we were also not trying to stomp on other things while doing that. So I made small, minor adjustments till things start gluing. And you're not looking for like necessarily if it's even. You're looking to see if something is stray or separating itself from the bubble of the mix. I keep hearing noise outside, so I can't really concentrate. So anyway, um, that's pretty much what I have there. As far as fucking editing, we're gonna have to go through it because you see a lot. So hold on. And that's called you how you automate without having to fucking use the lines. It's a little bit better than doing that, and it just kind of render. That's a rendering of all this. That's that comp that I was working on. And even then, I didn't fill in all the spaces, but I did like a little bit more work up here. Filled in some gaps, turned on and off stuff. So, but it's all right here. So, when I need to go back and fix something, I don't do it here. I do it here. But if I need to control the volume, it's so much easier to just get that shit and then just crush them down and so what I'm looking to do now, and I know I always tell y'all don't touch those knobs, don't. I'm just trying to do it quickly here. So this was saying this was a little low. Well, maybe. But we also have this fat guy, which is, again, all of some of that included here. So that's like my effects. This is like everything that I did. A little bit with some reverb and delay. So everything kind of sounds cool. And it's also helping glue whatever I do up here. But this can also be a little bit of a separate entity itself too, which is great. So everything gets compressed anyway when it gets shot up here. So um, it's all giving you more room to push a little bit more in what you want to create there. And it's great. It makes everything really good. So sounding. Um, Sometimes you have to take away things, and you'll go back and forth between turning on and off shit, you know. But once you got it set, you're pretty much good. Um, but it looks like it's saying that the vocals are too small. That's the whole fucking thing right there. I hope you guys enjoyed that and helped you guys out. But that's how you get your stuff to sound good. So as you saw, I had to get back to closer to 0 on those knobs for those to be correct. Sometimes you have to move the knobs, but usually that's for minor, small things. So there's some knobs that are moved, but we're not moving and resorting to go to those all the time. You know what I mean? So, but there's a couple of little adjustments, but just tiny, a little. That's what they're for. And if you just go in there, knock a bowling on them, you'll constantly throw yourself in a loop and never get your shit. So, remember that, kids. Alright, take your time. Uh, Rock out.